Good morning, everyone. So, today on Morning in America, we were talking about Britney Spears and how she says she's afraid of her family and, she's kind of gone no contact. I got a lot to say about this because I was there in the very beginning when she was at the height of her fame before she was under the conservatorship. I saw everything, I knew what was going on, and I'll let it slip about what I really think on conservatorship, her family, and what's going on with her right now. So watch the clip, and I will catch you on the flip.
All right, there it is. You know that sound. That means it's time for the scoop. Pop star Britney Spears is now taking aim at her family members amidst their toxic feud. 5 years out of her conservatorship, the lucky singer is reflecting on just how lucky she is. NewsNation story editor Paula Froelich here with the scoop. Paula, what's going on here?
Oh my gosh, Brooke, let me tell you.
Drama.
It's always drama with this one. And
Yeah.
she's deeply traumatized from her 13 years under the conservatorship.
Right.
And she will never get over it. And every now and again, we're kind of used to this now. She comes out and drops some bombs on her family. And this one, if we could just pull this up so everyone can read it, because wow, this was a big one. It said, as people, all we really want is to feel connected to each other and never feel alone. For those of you in your family that have said to help you is to isolate you and make you feel unbelievably left out. They were wrong. I'm incredibly lucky to be alive with how my family treated me once in my life, and now I'm scared of them.
Wow.
Yeah, so she has not talked to her father since the conservatorship ended.
Okay.
And, he lost a leg. She's just cut off contact. She also has an on-off relationship with her mother and her sister, Jamie Lynn. And every now and again, they will chitty-chat, but then the bombs start dropping. She's really upset. She feels like they abandoned her. And she's also has a weird relationship with her son. So over Christmas, I believe it was Jaden who stayed with her, whereas Sean Preston went to stay with Jamie Lynn. And she was really upset about that because she kind of feels, ever since Kevin Federline, her ex-husband, came out with the book in which he accused her of kind of emotional abuse and some really scary things like holding a knife while the kids slept.
Yeah.
And they were, the kids were just like, yeah, this kind of happened. And she was like, you're talking to your dad. How could you do that to me?
So is that what sparked this post? I mean, what got us to this?
Let's be honest, anything can spark a post from Britney. We've seen her one day sharing something that's fine and another day dancing with knives. You don't know really what's going on with her at any time.
What's the family saying? Are they reacting and any response from them?
The family are just really upset. They're very concerned for her. They're really concerned about her mental well-being, but there's really nothing they can do. It's really up to Britney now, and if she wants to go back on her meds or if she wants to take care of herself.
Yeah, and there has been so much concern from the public, too. So what does happen next? Are you hearing anything behind the scenes? I mean, are people trying to get her back on some kind of medication? Is she not taking medication? How'd we get here?
Here's the deal. She does have one family member that she does speak to. It's her brother, Brian.
Okay.
And he's in and out. However, the reason why she allows him in is because he doesn't really push back.
Yeah.
And I think Britney, after all those years of being in a conservatorship, she was just, I'm free. I'm going to do what I want.
Okay, wow. So the back and forth continues. Thinking about her, obviously we want her to be healthy and happy and
100%.
all of that. Okay. Paula Froelich, thanks so much.
Thank you.
Be sure to subscribe to the Scoop newsletter for the biggest stories in entertainment. We've got a lot more ahead on Morning in America. We'll be right back.
Yeah, so we're that situation. So let's go back to the early 2000s, all right? I was gossiping, gossip column, page 6, blah, blah, blah. And, I was friendly with that crew. And from day one, I always said, dude, where is children's services? Britney was kind of put to work at age 5, 6, 7. Then, she did the Mickey Mouse Club. Then it was Star Search. Then it was whatever. And, I get it. You're from rural Louisiana. Someone's got to pay the bills, but man, it is rough. You got a kid now who never really went to school, never really made any friends for friends' sake. Like, hey, I like you. I want to hang out with you. I don't care about you being famous or this other stuff. And this girl was made a product at a very young age. And it's always kind of grossed me out when people do this. And especially when they don't prioritize education, when they don't prioritize a childhood, and they make the child the moneymaker in the house. It never sets a good precedent, especially because another rule I've always found to be true is at whatever age you become famous or start getting all this attention and people start catering to you is the exact age when your maturity level stops. And for Britney, that was around 13. And I feel so bad for her. I always felt bad for her, and then she was with Justin Timberlake, and, she took solace with his mom, not her mom. And then, of course, he dumped her after, according to her book, getting her pregnant, wanting her to have an abortion. I mean, she was treated horribly by anyone that she loved in her life. So, of course, she's completely paranoid. Of course, she has a few issues with trust. And, again, here's the deal. I don't know if she's psychologically there, mentally there. Who cares? The point is, this girl never had a chance. Her entire family made money off of her. Her little sister, Jamie Lynn, then got that Nickelodeon show. And of course, it was horrific. There were the stories on the show about Zoe 101, about how she treated cast members horribly. It was a Mean Girls set. And you'll remember, here's the deal. When you're on a Disney show, when you're on a Nickelodeon show, this is millions of dollars behind everything. So if a 13-year-old or a 10-year-old doesn't want to do something, they'll do anything to get her out of her freaking trailer and go perform so that they can make their budget. For Britney, it was, okay, what do you want? What do you want? Here's this, here's that. There were allegations, of course, of drugs, of booze, of whatever. For Jamie Lynn, it was, I don't like this girl, get her off. What? You're having a preteen spat. And she's literally getting people fired. At one instance, she had her mom and Britney come in, and one of the girls was told, hey, Britney Spears wants to talk to you. And she was like, oh my God, I love Britney Spears. She goes in and she's basically threatened by the Spears gang. And she was kicked off the show later. It was just, it's not nice. It's not nice, and it's not the way to raise children. Now, that being said, she goes off, she marries Kevin Federline, who, after she had married her childhood sweetheart, Jason, for 2 hot seconds. She gets with Kevin, and Kevin is Kevin. He's the dancer who wanted to be the rap king. It was a short-lived career for a hot second. She writes about it in her book, The Woman in Me, about how he was using her. And he was like, all right, bye, I'm going to go focus on me now. Okay. And really left her out of things. And she just felt really lonely. And I think she probably had a lot of postpartum. And I remember she had been hanging out with Paris Hilton, Lindsay Lohan. They were the triumvirate trio. They were a trio of terror. And, they never wore underwear. They flashed a lot of people. They got drunk a lot, danced on bars. She had 2 kids. But again, she was never shown how to be a mother. And anyway, the whole point is she ended up having her breakdown. She shaved her head. She went into the conservatorship. Now, at the time, everyone was like, yeah, okay, cool. And it went on for 13 years. During the conservatorship, she says she was forced to work. She wasn't allowed to get pregnant. She wanted to. She was dating Sam, her backup dancer. And there are good reasons for all of this, but there's also good reasons for a person to have her self-determination, right? Now, I think idle hands, I think her father was like, no, let's keep her working. When she doesn't work, she goes off an edge a little bit, whatever. Her father did, in fact, only take $60,000 a year as her conservatorship. It was a full-time job. We know he lived in a trailer. He was not living high on the hog like some other people's parents. And, towards the end, the Free Britney movement happened. And we get it. She was on meds, and she made a very sane plaintiff plea to the judge. Get me out of here, man. I worked my whole life. I'm tired. I don't want to do this. She basically kind of felt like a slave or people's puppets, which is pretty darn difficult. You never feel free in your life. You feel used and abused by everyone you ever loved or trusted. And so she then was let out of the conservatorship. We all know she married Sam. They quickly got divorced. And now people are really concerned. They see her Instagram. She's dancing with knives. She's dancing in general. It's like all she does. Like, you wonder, does Britney do anything but look into a camera and do dance moves from 2001? It's odd. It's weird. Like, for the rest of us, we're like, oh, girl, wow. And of course, last year, I remember writing, she was really freaking out, and all of her friends and family were worried about what her reaction to Kevin Federline's book was going to be. And predictably, it was not great. And I don't really think she's been great since. She'd been trying to work on the relationship with her sons, Jaden and Sean Preston. And man, that went downhill fast, especially when she was reading stuff that only Jaden and Sean Preston could have told their father. Now, I don't think they were ratting out. I think they were literally like, hey, Dad, this is weird. I don't feel comfortable. I woke up. Mom was holding a knife over me in my doorway. They're children, and they're going to speak to their dad. Kevin, of course, is the one who was like, I might get a buck. But also, I do think he was also concerned. Nothing is black and white here, guys. And yeah, I don't think she's recovered. She spent Christmas with Jaden. Sean Preston went to her sister, Jamie Lynn. And that must have hurt bad. I mean, Jamie Lynn, come on, girl. She's caused enough damage. She also tried to ride the Britney train even after Zoe 101 was canceled. And, it was back in the day. People were super judgmental. Oh, my God, she's a teen mom. I mean, come on, this is America. There are a lot of teen moms. However, she then wrote a book. I mean, she's tried again and again. And you're like, and Dancing with the Stars. And again, I get it. You got bills to pay, but come on. Doesn't anyone go to school here? Doesn't anyone get a regular job? No. And in fact, her sons are also kind of riding the Britney train. You got Jaden, who wants to be a singer and a performer as well. Britney's saying, yeah, I want to perform with him, but I'll never perform in the States for reasons I can't talk about. Well, here are the reasons. No one's going to insure her. That's just not going to happen. And I think it would be really difficult for her to ever perform in the States. And, God bless. I wish her the best. But, man, it's disconcerting what's going on. And considering her past, I just feel bad for this girl, Even if she wasn't the sharpest book in the drawer or knife in the drawer, man, go to school, make some real friends. And her parents took that from her under the guise of it was her dream to go on stage and sing and dance. Isn't that every little girl's dream? Isn't it every little girl's dream to have everyone be like, oh, you're so wonderful? It is. So as for Britney going forward, I wish her the best. I don't know about a conservatorship. I don't think she's a danger to other people or herself. And so therefore, you gotta let someone go. I live in New York now. I'm from Cincinnati, Ohio. I went home the other day and there were plenty of people on the streets who are like, shouldn't you be on a conservatorship? And of course, I live in New York now, and well, that's most everyone. But damn, I don't know. I'm kind of like, if she wants to do it, she wants to do it. She still wants to be in the public spotlight. It's making people uncomfortable. That's okay. That's on these people. As long as she's not a danger to herself or anyone else, let's let her be, man. All right. I would love to hear what you think, and let me know in the comments. Thanks, guys.